By 2030, generative AI won't just be a tool. It'll be the economy's new boss. The question isn't if it changes everything, it's how fast and who gets left behind. Think about it. The last time humans invented something this big, it was electricity. Now, instead of powering machines, we're powering minds. Generative AI doesn't just build. It thinks, writes, negotiates, and occasionally gaslights you into believing it's right. So what happens when thinking becomes cheap? That's the trillion-dollar question. Generative AI isn't just automating tasks, it's automating ambition. A small business can sound like a Fortune 500 company overnight. A single creator can make enough content for an entire marketing team. Great news, right? Unless, of course, you are the marketing team. That's what's freaking economists out. AI doesn't replace jobs one by one. It replaces layers of work. In 2024, you had interns, assistants, analysts, and managers. By 2030, you have one person named Alex with a laptop and an AI that never asks for PTO. But don't panic yet. Every big technological leap starts with a job scare. The Industrial Revolution made people think machines would take over farming forever. And they did. But we also got cities, factories, and Netflix. AI's version of that might look different, but the pattern is the same. Chaos, panic, adaptation, boom. Still, here's what everyone wants to know. Who actually makes the money from all this? At first, it's the obvious few. The tech giants with the data, the chips, and the cloud servers. They're the landlords of the digital world. But the second wave, that's where things explode. By 2030, the tools get cheap, the playing field widens, and the person who knows how to ask the right question to an AI can compete with billion-dollar corporations. That's the new literacy. Prompt fluency. The future millionaire isn't the coder or the MBA. It's the person who can get the best answer out of a machine in under 10 seconds. Meanwhile, entire industries are quietly melting. Legal research, automated, copywriting, instant, customer support. You're probably already talking to a robot who's faking empathy better than your ex ever did. And it's not just white-collar jobs. Factories use predictive AI to schedule production, logistics, even maintenance. The global supply chain is becoming one giant self-correcting brain. By 2030, ships reroute themselves before storms hit. Warehouses restock before running out. Your Amazon package will show up before you even remember ordering it. Sounds efficient, right? But here's the twist. When everything becomes instant and optimized, value shifts somewhere else. Once everyone uses the same AI, efficiency stops being an advantage. What matters is taste, creativity, and timing. Suddenly, the human element, the weird, messy, emotional stuff, becomes priceless again. Now, the next big question people keep asking. Will generative AI make things cheaper? Sort of. Production costs drop, but prices? Not necessarily. Companies love profits too much to pass on all the savings. So your AI-generated movie might still cost $14.99 to stream. Congratulations. Capitalism found a way to automate and keep the margins. And what about money itself? Generative AI isn't just part of the economy, it's redesigning how the whole system works. Financial firms already let algorithms make trades faster than thought. By 2030, generative AI won't just predict markets, it'll create them. Imagine currencies that adjust their own value in real time, or tax systems that recalculate fairness every millisecond. Great in theory, until your paycheck starts fluctuating like Bitcoin because your boss's AI updated your real-time productivity score. The line between finance and fiction is blurring, and we're all characters in it. But let's zoom out. How does this change global power? For centuries, wealth came from land, then oil, then information. Now it's data. Whoever has it, wins. The US and China are racing to dominate AI infrastructure. Europe's writing the rules. The rest of the world is trying to make sure it's even invited to the game. By 2030, we won't measure economic power by GDP, but by computational capacity. Forget how much gold a country has. How many GPUs does it own? How much clean energy can it feed them? The new arms race isn't nuclear, it's neural. And yet, amid all this, one question keeps circling like a fly in the conference room. What happens to people? Do we get replaced? Do we become obsolete? Or do we finally get to stop doing boring stuff and focus on what we actually like? Assuming we still remember what that is? AI might wipe out repetitive work, but it can't replace desire. People still want stories, connection, humor, purpose. Machines can generate a billion answers, but only humans decide which ones matter. So maybe the future of work isn't man versus machine. It's man plus machine versus mediocrity. Picture the year 2030 again. The world runs on invisible intelligence. Every company, every government, every freelancer with Wi-Fi has some form of AI in their corner. The question isn't who uses AI, it's who uses it well. And that's where the new class divide appears. The economic gap of the future won't be between rich and poor. It'll be between people who know how to collaborate with machines and people who don't. You can already see it forming. One person armed with an AI co-pilot can outproduce an entire department. A YouTuber with smart editing tools beats a production studio. A small business owner uses ChatGPT to write ad copy that outperforms an agency's campaign. AI turns efficiency into a superpower, and ignorance into unemployment. Still, there's a twist. While everyone's racing to automate, the rarest commodity becomes the human touch. A teacher who can explain complex ideas with warmth, a designer who feels emotion behind the pixels, a manager who can lead actual people, not just dashboards. When every company sounds perfect, the imperfect human voice suddenly stands out. So will AI take your job? Maybe, but it's more likely to take over the boring parts of it. It'll handle the busy work, the paperwork, the endless emails that make your soul quietly wither. It's less robots replacing you, and more robots finally doing the stuff you hate. But hold that optimism, because here's where it gets messy. AI doesn't just change jobs, it changes the value of work. If one person can do what used to take 10, what happens to wages? What happens to identity when productivity is infinite but demand isn't? Economists love efficiency, but humans need purpose. You can't automate meaning. And that's the tension of the 2030 economy. Abundance with anxiety. Everything's easier, but nobody feels secure. It's like living in a world where every test is open book, but the questions keep changing. Governments will try to step in, expect AI dividends, automation taxes, maybe even data royalties, payments for the fact that your digital footprint helped train the very systems replacing you. Universal basic income might stop being a thought experiment and start showing up in paychecks. A little ironic, right? Machines make the wealth, and we live off their allowance. Meanwhile, regulators will be playing the slowest game of catch-up in history. They'll try to draw lines between human accountability and algorithmic autonomy. Who gets sued when an AI makes a $1 trillion mistake? The coder? The company? The computer? Lawyers will bill hours just debating who has hours. But out of that chaos, new professions will bloom. AI ethicists, prompt consultants, algorithm explainers, basically translators between human logic and machine behavior. Jobs we can't even name yet will become the backbone of the economy, because every revolution creates work nobody predicted. So what does everyday life look like in this future? Imagine waking up and your AI has already planned your day. It checked your calendar, pre-wrote your emails, ordered groceries, and found 3 job offers just in case you get fired by lunchtime. It's convenient, almost too convenient. The line between help and control starts to blur. If the AI decides what's best for you long enough, at what point do you stop deciding? That's why 2030 won't just be about technology. It'll be about trust. The economy runs on belief. In money, in systems, in each other. When machines handle everything, belief becomes the new currency. You'll trust brands not because they're efficient, but because they still feel human. And that's where creativity sneaks back in. Once AI automates logic, art becomes rebellion. Imperfect writing, flawed design, raw emotion, those become premium goods. Think about it. When every song sounds flawless, the one that cracks your voice hits hardest. When every video is polished, the one that's real goes viral. Humanity turns into the new luxury brand. Still, we can't ignore the darker side. If wealth keeps concentrating in the hands of those who own the algorithms, inequality could explode. The top 1% won't just have money, they'll have access. To the most advanced models, to the cleanest data, to the fastest chips. Everyone else will rent intelligence from them, the way we rent cloud storage now. That's the digital feudal system economists are warning about, where intelligence itself becomes gated, and history tells us what happens when one group owns the tools of production. Spoiler: revolutions, memes, and probably some awkward congressional hearings. But it doesn't have to go that way. We can build systems that spread the benefits. Open source AI, global data commons, education that actually evolves. We just have to do it before greed automates the future first. So here's the real plot twist. The fate of the 2030 economy doesn't depend on the code. It depends on us. AI will push productivity, rewrite industries, and mint new millionaires. But humans will decide whether that progress feels like liberation or extinction. Technology sets the stage. Policy, ethics, and creativity decide the ending. The most successful people won't be the ones who resist AI or worship it. They'll be the ones who treat it like a tool. Powerful, unpredictable, and just a little bit insane. The kind of partner you trust with your spreadsheets, but not your secrets. So yes, AI will change everything. But here's the funny part. In doing so, it reminds us what can't be copied. Empathy, humor, values, the things that make us us. Because when thinking becomes automated, feeling becomes the final frontier. And in the economy of 2030, being human might just be the best investment you can make. If you like videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.